Well guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to install a stove jack in a canvas tent, so stick around. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your tent set up. Once your tent is set up, then it would be good, if you're not familiar with how you like having your tent set up while you're camping, to bring in things like your cot, or if you sleep on a blow-up mattress, bring that in here. If you have a little cooking station or something, bring that in here. Just lay everything out, that way you know exactly where you want your wood stove to be and where it's going to be the most efficient for you. But because I've already used this tent, I already know where I like everything to be. Normally I sleep on that side of the tent, my cooking station's right here, so this right here is where I want my wood stove. It's the least occupied area in my tent, so for me this is ideal. So now that you have your wood stove in your tent and you have it positioned where you want, I'm going to show you how to make the mark on where you want to put the hole for your stove jack. What I've noticed is this is about where I want it to be, but I don't have enough room on the stovepipe to touch here and to reference on the outside very good. So if you can see right here, this stovepipe shoved all the way down, I'm just going to lift it up a little bit and do the same on the bottom one. And now, I don't know if you could tell, the lighting's pretty bad, but now that stovepipe is pushing up against the canvas, and now we can go to the back side and mark exactly where we want that hole. Right here is where that chimney is sticking out. It's touching the canvas right here. And where you see it touching that canvas, that's where you want the bottom edge of your hole for your stove jack to be. So I'm just going to take my little pencil right here. I'm going to mark where that chimney is touching the canvas right there. So basically, this is all going to be cut out anyway, guys, so don't worry about marking it up in the area. So basically, that hole is going to be about this big, something like that. This pencil's not doing a whole lot, but it's going to be something like that. And when I get my stove jack on there, that's exactly where it's going to be. One other thing that I'm going to do real fast, you see it all the time on people's stove jacks, is when they get them put on, the holes positioned correctly, but they're crooked. And to me, I'm just way too OCD for that. So what I'm going to do, it's not perfect, but I'm going to put kind of a reference mark to what I think looks level on the tent, just somewhere like this. To me, if my stove jack was that straight, I would be happy with that. So stick around, guys, and we're gonna go on to the next step. Okay, now that you have your stove out, your tent down, I've got a table underneath where I'm gonna be working. You want to line your hole of, the hole that you made for your chimney that you made with the pencil. You want to line your circle up with the hole in the stove jack as best you can. And this one, I'll open it up like this, figure out where I want it. And because it's so cold out here, guys, I can't get tape to stick. I can't get tape to stick. So what I'm going to use are some of these pins. I'm just going to pin this thing down in several places. These dogs are crazy, man. I don't think I've introduced these dogs to the channel yet. The Golden, his name's Cooper. They're both Great Pyrenees mixes. Hazel is the white one, and she's Great Pyrenees and Lab and a couple other things. But I'm gonna get this pinned, and once I get this thing pinned, I'm gonna start gluing, And I'm just gonna start a time lapse so you guys can kind of see how I do that. Well, as you guys can see, I had to use my wife's hair dryer to warm up the canvas enough so that the glue would cure. It's cold out here, guys. It's like a high of 25 degrees today. I can't wait till spring or summer to do this. I'm trying to go camping. So now that we've got this thing glued in place, I'm gonna put the tent back up and we're gonna stitch it using one of these easy stitch hand awls. Now that we got the tent back up, what do you guys think? Not too shabby. It looks level to me. My edges aren't too bad. There's a little bit of glue, but I mean, overall, not too bad. I was worried about this corner a little bit, but I think it's gonna work out just fine. So, and you can see, we were right on the money with our reference circle. So now it's time to use one of these, hand awls. And I think I'm gonna try to do 2 stitches. I think I'm gonna try to go in the Velcro all the way around and as close to the top as I can. And then I'm gonna do one inside this canvas right here all the way around. Well, we got it all stitched up. I think it looks pretty darn good for our first time ever using one of those hand awls. Let's go look at it from the inside. Yep, looks pretty good. Thing is super handy. I think it was like $12 on Amazon. Got a little pull on the corner there, but I'll show you guys next what the hardest part of the whole process is, so stay tuned. Okay, so now that it's glued, now that it's stitched, this is what the hardest part of the whole process is. You might be going, Logan, it's done. What do you mean? It's almost done. What's gonna be harder than this? This is gonna be the hardest part of the whole process. Oh, doesn't that just hurt your soul? Super nice tent like this, just cut a big old hole in it, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I'm gonna cut a circle out with these scissors, a little bit bigger than the hole in that stove jack, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. Well, this is what it's looking like now. I got a good inch and a half clearance pretty much all the way around, and what that's for is just when this tent's flapping around, or if you got your chimney coming up through here, it's just not going to rub on any of this canvas and potentially be a fire hazard. So you only want your chimney touching this right here. So I'm gonna try to get this stove set up in here and show you guys what it looks like. Okay guys, what do you think? Let's walk in the tent here. Got the stove all set up. It's going out the stove jack. The chimney, I initially planned on it just going straight up. I didn't want it to really bend around, but it ended up hitting the little spring bar that's on the outside here. So I just put these 90s in and it gets around that spring bar. So either way, it works perfect. And this is right where I wanted it. I've got a little fire going in it right now, but I just started, so you can't even really feel the warmth just yet. But man, what an awesome addition to this tent. and the color even matches almost perfect. So what do you think, guys? Pretty awesome. Well guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in any of these products that I used today, like the stove jack, the hand awl, the glue, the tent, or even the stove itself, I'm gonna have all that stuff linked in the description below. It doesn't cost you anything to use my link. It just gives me a little kickback from Amazon, and it helps me produce more videos and better videos in the future. So if you would, use my link if you're interested in any of this stuff. But thank you guys so much. I'll catch you on the next one.